It's long overdue. And we're reminded tonight of those who fought so hard for so many years to make this happen. But once again, America's bent the arc of the moral universe more toward justice. Kamala, Doug, like it or not, your family, you become an honorary Biden, there's no way out. All those of you who volunteered and worked the polls in the middle of this pandemic, local elected officials, you deserve a special thanks from the entire nation. And to my campaign team and all the volunteers and all who gave so much of themselves to make this moment possible, I owe you. I owe you. I owe you everything. And to all those who supported us, I'm proud of the campaign we built and ran. I'm proud of the coalition we put together, the broadest and most diverse coalition in history. Democrats, Republicans, independents, progressives, moderates, conservatives, young, old, urban, suburban, rural, gay, straight, transgender, white, Latino, Asian, Native American. I mean it, especially for those moments, and especially for those moments where this campaign was at its lowest ebb. The African-American community stood up again for me. You've always had my back, and I'll have yours. I said at the outset, I wanted to represent this campaign to represent and look like America. We've done that. Now that's what I want the administration to look like and act like. For all those of you who voted for President Trump, I understand the disappointment tonight. I've lost a couple times myself, but now let's give each other a chance. It's time to put away the harsh rhetoric, lower the temperature, see each other again, listen to each other again. And to make progress, we have to stop treating our opponents as our enemies. They are not our enemies. They are Americans. They're Americans. The Bible tells us to everything there is a season, a time to build, a time to reap and a time to sow, and a time to heal. This is the time to heal in America. Now this campaign is over. What is the will of the people? What is our mandate? I believe it's this. Americans have called upon us to marshal the forces of decency, the forces of fairness, to marshal the forces of science and the forces of hope in the great battles of our time. The battle to control the virus, the battle to build prosperity, the battle to secure your family's health care, the battle to achieve racial justice and root out systemic racism in this country, and the battle to save our planet by getting climate under control, the battle to restore decency, defend democracy, and give everybody in this country a fair shot. That's all they're asking for, a fair shot. Folks, our work begins with getting COVID under control. We cannot repair the economy, restore our vitality, or relish life's most precious moments, hugging our grandchildren, our children, our birthdays, weddings, graduations, all the moments that matter most to us until we get it under control. On Monday, I will name a group of leading scientists and experts as transition advisors to help take the Biden-Harris COVID plan and convert it into an action blueprint that will start on January the 20th, 2021. That plan will be built on bedrock science. It will be constructed out of compassion, empathy, and concern. I will spare no effort, none, or any commitment to turn around this pandemic. Folks, I'm a proud Democrat, but I will govern as an American president. I'll work as hard for those who didn't vote for me as those who did. Let this grim era of demonization in America begin to end here and now. The refusal of Democrats and Republicans to cooperate with one another, it's not some mysterious force beyond our control. It's a decision, a choice we make. And if we can decide not to cooperate, then we can decide to cooperate. And I believe that this is part of the mandate given to us from the American people. They want us to cooperate in their interest. And that's the choice I'll make. And I'll call on Congress, Democrats and Republicans alike, to make that choice with me. The American story is about slow yet steadily widening the opportunities in America. And make no mistake, too many dreams have been deferred for too long. We must make the promise of the country real for everybody, no matter their race, their ethnicity, their faith, their identity, or their disability. Folks, America has always been shaped by inflection points, by moments in time where we've made hard decisions about who we are and what we want to be. Lincoln in 1860, coming to save the Union. FDR in 1932, promising a beleaguered country a new deal. JFK in 1960, pledging a new frontier. And 12 years ago, when Barack Obama made history, he told us, yes, we can. Well, folks, we stand at an inflection point. We have an opportunity to defeat despair, to build a nation of prosperity and purpose. We can do it. I know we can. I've long talked about the battle for the soul of America. We must restore the soul of America. Our nation is shaped by the constant battle between our better angels and our darkest impulses. And what presidents say in this battle matters. It's time for our better angels to prevail. Tonight, the whole world is watching America. And I believe at our best, America is a beacon for the globe. We will lead not only by the example of our power, but by the power of our example. I've always believed, many of you heard me say it, I've always believed we can define America in one word: possibilities. That in America, everyone should be given an opportunity to go as far as their dreams and God-given ability will take them. You see, I believe in the possibilities of this country. We're always looking ahead to an America that's freer and more just, ahead to an America that creates jobs with dignity and respect, ahead of America that cures diseases like cancer and Alzheimer's, ahead to an America that never leaves anyone behind, ahead of America that never gives up, never gives in. This is a great nation. It's always been a bad bet to bet against America. We're a good people. This is the United States of America, and there's never been anything we've been not able to do when we've done it together. Folks, in the last days of the campaign, I began thinking about a hymn that means a lot to me and my family, particularly my deceased son, Bo. It captures the faith that sustains me and which I believe sustains America. And I hope it can provide some comfort and solace to 230,000 Americans who've lost a loved one to this terrible virus this year. My heart goes out to each and every one of you. Hopefully this hymn gives you solace as well. And it goes like this: and he will raise you up on eagle's wings, bear you on the breath of dawn, and make you to shine like the sun, and hold you in the palm of his hand. And now together, On eagle's wings, we embark on the work that God and history have called upon us to do. With full hearts and steady hands, with faith in America and in each other, with love of country, a thirst for justice, let us be the nation that we know we can be. A nation united, a nation strengthened, a nation healed. The United States of America, ladies and gentlemen, there's never been anything we've tried we've not been able to do. So remember, as my grandpapa, our grandpapa used to say when I walked out of his home when I was a kid up in Scranton, he said, "Joey, keep the faith." And our grandmother, when she was alive, she yelled, "No, Joey, spread it. Spread the faith. God love you all. May God bless America, and may God protect our troops." Thank you, thank you, thank you.
eagle's wings. He quoted Minister Theodore Parker with the bending of the moral universe, which Barack Obama used quite often, certainly Martin Luther King. It was again, this is what speech-making sounds like, and President Trump just hasn't spoken like this, hasn't chosen to, and this was a speech, that seeks to use the words in the moment to bring the nation together and move it along. Words can't do everything in a presidency, but they can do a lot.
And to say that he wants to root out systemic racism. Do you know how long people have been waiting for someone in that position to say that, to acknowledge, A, that it exists, and then to acknowledge we want to do something about it?
That it will be
very powerful.
That it will be a priority.
Exactly, Nora.
And
a priority.
Said to the black community, you had my back and I had yours.
The significance, too, of Joe Biden speaking of his loss, not only with his first wife, who was killed in a car accident, as well as his son, who died of glioblastoma, cancer, which many Americans know, the pain of losing someone from cancer, and then referencing that Catholic hymn, and he will raise you up on eagle's wings. Joe Biden becomes the only second Catholic to ever be elected president of the United States since John F. Kennedy. And so there is a resonance here as well.
And we'll have a church-going president again. Not since George W. Bush, really, have we had somebody who went to church on Sundays with regularity. We should probably reflect on the sort of modern family-looking group of people up there on stage. We saw Biden's son, Hunter, who we have not seen in public at all over the course of this campaign, who's there.
Holding his new grandchild.
Hunter, yes.
The president-elect is holding his.
Yes, and then he has now a total of 7 grandchildren. Natalie, Robert, Maisie, Finnegan, Naomi, another child that was born to another woman with Hunter, and then the youngest there with his new wife, Melissa. Kamala Harris, those young children, one of them is Amara, her niece. There was a video shot, actually her grandniece. Her niece shot video of them talking the other day about how that 4-year-old could one day become president.
She was sitting on her lap. It was a very cute video.
Yes.
Yeah, people should look at that.
And Kamala Harris mentioned her stepchildren, Cole and Ella, who are Doug Emhoff's children. And the senator, or the vice president-elect, actually very good friends with Emhoff's former wife. They're all friendly back in Los Angeles. So these are faces and names we'll get to know over the next few years as they take office.
I mean, when you talk about, filling your cabinet with people that look like America, that's what that stage looks like right now. Look at the range of color, the range of age, male, female. It really is a beautiful sight to see them all there together. And I love when he said to Kamala Harris, you're now a Biden, like it or not. You're now a Biden for life, like it or not.
You get the feeling he would want to deputize the whole country into that, given what he really wants to do.
Embrace us, yeah.
Well, there is something that always strikes me about Joe Biden, given that he has had 47 years in public life and has been busy, is that he calls his children every single day. He calls most of his grandchildren every single day.
Just to say hey?
Just to say hey. Oh, I know you text with your kids every day and send pictures and stuff too.
But those of us with teenagers don't get a response.
Yeah, exactly.
It's temporary, John. It's temporary.
There's something unique about really that diligence with which he loves and cares for his family. And it was really something actually that you heard now Vice President-elect Harris mention in her remarks about the decency that embodies Joe Biden. It's a word he used too, to marshal the forces of decency. They both had similar words that they used: decency, truth, healer, uniter.
That is science.
Yeah.
They both emphasize science, which I thought was interesting. Big nod to COVID.
It was a speech that was very true to Joe Biden.
Yes.
The reason it sounded so natural is because these are themes that he has sounded throughout his political career, including 36 years on Capitol Hill. He was always someone who was trying to make a deal, trying to reach out to the other side. In fact, some Democrats were frustrated with him when he was vice president because they felt he was too eager to reach out to the other side and make a deal. I was just reading a quote from a Republican in Congress from a few years ago who said, "I don't always agree with him, but I do trust him implicitly. He doesn't break his word. He doesn't waste time telling me why I'm wrong. He gets down to brass tacks and keeps sight of the stakes." You know who said that?
Who?
Mitch McConnell.
Oh, win, Nancy, win.
It's in the long game. Yeah.
Yeah. In the book.
I was going to say, John, how did you know that?
He knows
that John
He reads
Dickerson.
everything.
Is that encyclopedic
Dickerson.
mind again? Here's another first in the Biden White House. Biden's dog, Major, will be the first shelter pup to live in the White House. I don't know what kind of dog Major is. John Dickerson, what kind of dog is
I know, he's a German Shepherd. The Bidens have always had German Shepherds.
They have?
Yes.
Okay.
And so,
By the way, I was keeping count. He said folks 7 times.
But no malarkey.
No malarkey
Malarkey
tonight.
once.
That's right.
He threw a y'all in there as well.
you know, I found the phrase that I was looking for, Vice President-elect's phrase about Joe Biden. She said he is a man with a big heart who loves without abandon.
Yes.
And he certainly has done that with his family and through his career as a public servant. And that will be his task, is to love with abandon those who disagree with him vehemently, and the direction that perhaps he wants to take the country, and feel sort of stuck in their ways about what they believe, and the distrust that has really come to embody our politics, that you can, for some reason it's extended beyond what you believe, that you can't trust the other person.
It's interesting that we're sitting here at Times Square. You can hear the roar of the crowd as we're sitting in the building. You could hear the applause. The car horns have gotten louder now that it's over. I mean, you feel it's a big celebration right outside of our walls. Mm-hmm. I like, too, that he mentioned again he will work just as hard for those who didn't work for me. I will work just as hard for you. Again, he keeps extending that branch to say, I'm here for you and want to work with you. I think that's a very important message to send. And you can't say it enough. You can't say it enough, because we are deeply divided as we sit here tonight as a nation.
And of course, saying it isn't enough,
Yes,
which is to say,
right.
you know, but I think behind these words, whether it actually works out this way in his presidency or not, behind them is the struggle to at least get caught trying to reach out. And that